Keep going, keep going. Block the shot. Years ago, I used to say, forget about the ponytail and look at them as wrestlers because there's gonna be a point where the ponytail is not gonna matter. And we're at that point. Team Alpha is an all-girls wrestling club, started 5 seasons ago. We started out with approximately 9 girls, since have grown to over 50. An alpha wolf doesn't necessarily have to be an alpha male, right? Female wolf can be the alpha, the leader of the pack. You know, we're not quite leaders just yet on the national scene, but we're getting there.
Participation in girls wrestling has seen a 500% increase since 2001 and is currently sanctioned as a high school sport in 21 states. Team Alpha's home state of New York isn't yet one of these, so girls either wrestle on the boys' team or compete in clubs outside of school.
I have 2 daughters, Kendall, who is 13. She's been wrestling just over 3 years, and McKenna, who is 10, and she's been wrestling a little over 5, and she was probably around 2 or 3. And my wife and I noticed that the only time she ever sat still was when she was either watching wrestling on TV with me or at tournaments.
After watching one of those wrestling tournaments as a 4-year-old, McKenna told her dad something that would change everything.
And I was like, Dad, I want to start wrestling. And then I started wrestling on the boys' team at first, and then Dad made a girls' team.
What do you like about wrestling?
Since I'm wrestling, I feel like I'm tougher.
When you were wrestling with the boys, did you enjoy that?
Yeah, it's fun. When you wrestle them, it's not that intense as it is wrestling a girl.
Why is that?
Because boys aren't that tough. I'd probably do better if I wrestled boys, but I kind of like wrestling girls better because girls don't sweat as much as the boys do when we're wrestling.
As a boy, I'll pretend not to be offended.
Okay.
The girls of Team Alpha range in age from kindergarten to 12th grade, but they all see themselves as part of the same movement.
I feel like it's like partially like a women's rights movement in a way, because we're trying to get like a male dominant sport to also be like our sport.
I've had coaches say girls shouldn't be wrestling, like just, you know, we all hear it, but I kind of block it out or just take it as like motivation to just push myself.
Some of the kids in my class, I'm like, call me a tomboy, but I'd rather be a tomboy than a girly girl, so I like it better than that.
I know it's 2020, but you know that there are still some people who think girls shouldn't be wrestling.
Yeah.
It's not a sport for girls. What would you say to them?
I would say girls can do anything boys can.
We just brush it off until they sanction girls wrestling here in New York, then we'll do what we got to do to get the girls on the mat that want to be on the mat.
Coach Ken started wrestling in 3rd grade, encouraged by his dad, a former high school wrestler who would work double shifts to support their family. Long days on the job prevented him from attending Ken's wrestling matches.
You know, I ran around most of my teens, you know, mad, angry. Why doesn't my dad get to come to all my stuff like some of the other kids? When I started coaching my kids and when they started to get older, I swore I'd never miss anything. So that's what I base everything around. I have to be there.
12, 13, 14.
Ready?
When I'm on the mat and I hear my dad on the side, I know that he loves me and he wants to get me like more into the sport. It's the best feeling a kid could ever have.
He says, be a leader, not a follower, and I always listen to that.
The first step's always the hardest in this sport. Once you take that first step, at the very least, you're gonna learn a work ethic that sticks with you forever. There's nothing wrong with being tough. You know, there's nothing wrong with being gritty. That's what gets it done on the mat. That's what gets it done in life.
Before the girls came along, is this where you thought you'd be?
Never.
It's pretty cool though.
It's awesome. You know, I got 2 blood daughters and 50 more in the club.
Alpha!
We are
Alpha!
4, 5, 6!
Family!